Have you guys heard of this thing called ChatGPT, which apparently some people are using to write their college essays? In this video, I'm gonna play around with ChatGPT and see what we can get it to do and ask the question, is this a tool, ethics aside, that everyone should be using to write their college essays? My name is Brooke. If you don't know me, I've been coaching students through the college admissions process for over a decade and a half. I also coach SAT and ACT. I've coached students to perfect scores. You can check out more at SupertutorTV.com, where we have an online course. And let's have some fun with college essays. I'm gonna hit it with one of the hardest, really short answer questions from Stanford. So in 50 words or less, explain what is the greatest challenge society faces today. Let's see how it answers this. The response should be accurate but original. I'm really going for that zingy essay that I talk about in all my videos, right? How your essay has to have zing, it has to have the spirit, je ne sais quoi, originality. So here's what they say. The greatest challenge we face as human beings is finding meaning and purpose in a vast, unpredictable universe. That's not original. Fail. So I respond, because you can chat with it. That's why it's called ChatGPT. Okay, so I would respond. That sounded a bit cliche. One of the greatest challenges society faces today is the issue of inequality. Despite progress in some areas, many individuals and groups still face barriers to opportunity and equality due to factors such as race, gender, sexual orientation, and socioeconomic status. Tackling this challenge will require addressing both systemic and individual biases that contribute to these inequalities, and working to create a more inclusive and equitable society for all. Well, that is a true answer, a nice answer. It's kind of a boring answer. Okay, can you try again and maybe express the greatest challenge humankind faces in 50 words or less in a way that is more unexpected or interesting? One of the greatest challenges humankind faces is the potential for an existential threat, such as a global pandemic or a catastrophic event caused by human activities, such as climate change. These types of threats have the potential to fundamentally alter the course of human history and fundamentally challenge our ability to survive as a species. Okay, slightly more interesting. All of this taps at, by the way, what all my students that I work with are always talking about. But the trick to this question, to getting into Stanford, if you want a great answer to this question, is to write it in a way that isn't cliche, where you basically explain one of these ideas, which is what all of us already have come up with. Duh. It's either climate change or it's inequality, but like that's all everybody comes up with, right? That's the easy part. The hard part is, how do you say it in a way that nobody else has said it? How do you be so original in your way of demonstrating your answer that nobody else thought of saying it just in that way? And when you're using a bot, it's really hard to find that je ne sais quoi originality. It's all kind of dull. Can you write a poetic response to the question, what is the greatest challenge humankind, so I'm changing up the words, faces today in 50 words? Okay, here we go, a poem. Society's greatest challenge lies in inequality's unbalanced ties. Wealth and privilege rule the day, leaving so many far behind to stray. A lack of access and opportunity leads to social unrest and instability. We must strive for fairness and balance to create a future with equal chance. That didn't even rhyme at the end. I don't know. That was not a great poem. So here's my take on this so far. If you're applying to a place like Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, Yale, whatever, this is not very useful so far. It's almost anti-useful. I mean, I guess it tells you what essay you should not be writing. And if your essay sounds just like this, you really shouldn't write it, because everyone's gonna write that. So I'm applying to top colleges in the US for freshman admission. Can you give me an example of a personal statement that might be successful? Let's see what ChatGPT can come up with. Sure, here's an example of a personal statement that could be successful for college application. Growing up in a small town in rural America, I never imagined that I would have the opportunity to attend a top university. But as I excelled in high school and began to explore my interest in science and technology, I realized I had the potential to succeed at the highest levels of academia. My passion for STEM began in high school, where I took advanced courses in physics, chemistry, and computer science. I also participated in a number of extracurricular activities that allowed me to explore my interests further, including a robotics club and a research internship. internship at a local hospital. These experiences taught me the value of hard work, collaboration, and perseverance, and I am eager to bring these skills to a university setting. I am particularly excited about the prospect of attending University Name because of its strong emphasis on research and innovation. I am confident that the resources and opportunities available at University Name will allow me to continue to grow and challenge myself academically, and I'm eager to contribute to the university community as a member of the University Name family. I am grateful for the opportunity to apply to University Name, and I am confident that my passion, determination, and potential make me a strong candidate for admission. Thank you for considering my application. I don't know, man. That was pretty generic. Write an admission essay of 600 to 1,000 words that would help me get into Harvard as a freshman admit. So I'm going to get specific here. As a highly motivated and ambitious student, I am excited to apply for admission to Harvard University as a freshman. With its world-renowned faculty, rigorous academic programs, and diverse student body, Harvard is the perfect place for me to pursue my goals and achieve my full potential. Throughout high school, I've consistently demonstrated a strong commitment to academic excellence. I've taken a rigorous course load, including advanced placement and honors classes, and have consistently earned top grades. In addition to my academic pursuits, I have also been actively involved in extracurricular activities such as the debate team, Model UN, United Nations, and community service projects. These experiences have allowed me to develop important skills in leadership, communication, and problem solving, and have sparked my passion for public service. One of the experiences that has the greatest impact on me was a volunteer trip to Ecuador, where I spent 2 weeks working in a rural village to provide medical care and build infrastructure. So one of the things that I talk about in some of my videos is the idea that community service is in so many student college essays that it's really not the linchpin that gets people in most of the time, which I think is funny that the bot puts that in there. But the other thing that I noticed is I've done this several times now. The other Harvard essay that they gave me was all about how I want to major in computer science. It was this really dull kind of I want to major in computer science. Both my parents were engineers and I've been interested in this for a long time. And I got an internship, right? But that's the number one thing, that if you don't have something interesting to say about computer science, you really shouldn't be talking about it in this boring, expected, cliche kind of way. And this bot is the king of cliches. So tip to the wise, if you were applying, ethics aside, guys, I'm just being strategic here. If you're applying to a top university, I strongly advise that you do not use ChatGPT to write your college essays. Okay, so I'm going to try to give it a leg up because it's not really fair to just be write an amazing college application essay and give them no information. Of course, it's going to be boring. It has no specifics, right? And if any of you know what I like to say is that specifics are gold. They're what make everything awesome. Can you write between 200 and 250 words about why I love music? Include the idea that music is a superior form of expression and a way that I can communicate direct emotions, that I like to feel in the zone, that I like how music creates a sense of flow, and how as a child I was always really emotional and cried a lot, but music helped me manage my emotions and find a sense of peace. So there's just some quick notes about music. I love music because it is a superior form of expression. It allows me to communicate my deepest emotions and feelings in a way that words cannot. When I listen to music, I feel as if I am transported to a different world where I can completely immerse myself in the sound and let go of any external distractions. As a child, I was always very emotional and cried a lot. Music helped me manage my emotions and find a sense of peace. It gave me an outlet to express my feelings and provided comfort during difficult times. Even now as an adult, music continues to play a vital role in my emotional well-being. Overall, music is an integral part of my life. It brings me joy, helps me express myself, and provides a sense of peace and connection to others. It is a universal language that transcends boundaries and unites people from all walks of life. It is really good at being super cliche. I mean, this is better than what I wrote, which is one sentence. I actually entered this earlier and I got a better answer, I thought. Music is an incredibly powerful and universal form of expression. So you guys can read this. We'll put this one on the blog. I actually think the other one that it gave me was better. So if you throw the same question at it multiple times, it might not give you the same answer, which is kind of weird. It seems to be really good at creating very flowery language, but it doesn't seem to be very good at actually making keen insights. Okay, I'm going to try one more essay. So I'm going to basically feed it some of my personal life story, some of these details I'm going to talk about, rather than just be mean and just be give me an awesome Harvard application essay. I mean, I couldn't even do that for you, if you give me no details about your life. So write a 250-word statement on something that is significant to me and why. And then I'm going to say, here is some background. I'm feeding it a big chunk paragraph about my grandmother passing away and my dad's heart surgery, and we'll see what it comes up with. Family has been an important part of my life, and the moments where I was unable to be present for my loved ones are the ones that I deeply regret. When my grandmother passed, I missed out on the opportunity to say goodbye and pay my respects in person. Even though I was in the midst of finals and had a massive research paper due, I wish I had made the time to be there for my family in their time of need. The experience of my father's heart surgery was a wake-up call for me. I realized that my priorities had been misplaced and that my relationships with my loved ones should always come first. Seeing him in the hospital looking so much older and vulnerable made me realize the true value of time spent with family. I made the decision to prioritize my relationships and make an effort to be present for my loved ones whenever possible. To me, family is more than just a group of people who are related by blood or marriage. It's a support system, a source of love and comfort, a group of individuals who are there for each other through thick and thin. Cliché alert. I believe that it's important to show up for our loved ones and be there for them in their times of need, and I'm committed to making this a priority in my life. Whether it's attending a family gathering or simply being available to listen and offer support, I know that my presence can make a difference in the lives of my loved ones. I started to get into this whole navy blue suitcase and the cookie sheets and the spoons and forks and I don't know, soup spoons and ladles that were handed down to me to continue my to start my adult life, right, as my grandmother's ended. I feel like those details could have really made this essay more powerful, this idea of there's this continuation. And that's an idea that I think could have been really well developed and could have hit on something interesting. And obviously, ChatGPT has no interest in developing something meaningful and heartfelt and real. It's just kind of cliche bot slapping itself onto whatever it is that you feed it. It's not going to pick up on that and try to develop that. It's kind of like the opposite of what I do as an essay coach in some ways. That being said, if you feed things into it, it is a tool that can show you, okay, there should be a transition between these ideas. It certainly also organized all the ideas. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and my writing might not have had that beginning, middle, and end yet. So if you want to use it as a tool to just say, okay, this is how I might organize my ideas. Maybe I need a transition sentence, this is a transition sentence, but I'm going to write it myself. Maybe this could be a tool that you could use as a helpful tool like Grammarly Plus. But when it churns the oranges of your life into juice, man, it is like a factory farm. And maybe this is a tool that people who are just going to mail it in and write a really crappy college essay, it's going to make it faster and easier to write a really crappy college essay. That's actually the group I'm most worried about. And there are ethical concerns to that, but there's also ethical concerns to, if this tool exists, for colleges to be accepting crappy essays as some sort of sentient identification that a student is qualified for college. No, anybody in the world can get help on their essays. There's got to be something deeper or personal or voice related in that essay for it to have any meaning at this point, because there's too many teachers, parents, coaches, everybody out there, ChatGPTs out there giving you a leg up. And this is why I feel like the world should not be test optional. At least not 90% test optional, maybe 30% test optional for people with test anxiety, but not 90% test optional. You've got to assess what the student is putting forward and using a tool that is clearly so gameable for at least a grand swath of the population. Again, is this going to help you get into Stanford, Harvard, Princeton, Yale? No. Is it going to help you get into top 20 schools? Probably not that much. But if you're trying to get into just a top 100 school or 150 ranked school or any of the other thousands of schools that are ranked below that, and you have to write essays and you have to just mail it in, and you're planning to write something crappy anyway, it's really good at churning out cliche crap. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, so please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. I also am teaching a live SAT class for the first time ever, a long-form SAT class. It's going to be an 8-week class. I'm co-teaching it with Jackie Polina of J&J Test Prep, who's over on TikTok if you haven't met her before. And we will be splitting things and teaching lots of awesome SAT knowledge. So check that out. It's coming out before the March SAT, so it starts in January. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon.